Yeah, dude. So that was the last thing I played drums on.
Oh, that was you on the drums. All right, cool.
You know, it's so funny. You know who the singer in that band? Tony, my producer.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't care how formulaic the kind of like metalcore genre can be at times. It's still so
Yep.
much fun to listen to. At least
It's
for me,
so
anyway.
much fun. Oh, me too. And that's literally all that I used to play, Rye, was that kind of music.
Dude.
That whole album, it was so fun. Like, it was just a fun metalcore album.
Yes.
So the only reason that band broke up was because we signed to a label. And that's what happens.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate side of the industry, is that there's creative control and different things that have to be given up, and it does not always end well.
No.
But yeah, no, the drumming was one of the things that stood out to me in this, actually, because the snare rolls and like the rim shots and everything were so clean. And I especially love that type of snare sound because it just sounds like an explosion. It's amazing.
It's so funny because that song, Tony actually called me and said, "Hey, I need you to meet me in Nashville, and I need you to throw some drums on something real quick for me." And I was like, "Cool, man, I got you, dude." And literally, he came to Nashville, and like the first few playthroughs, he was like, "Oh, no, I want something heavier than that. Oh, I want something lighter than that for each part." And then we just nailed it. And he was just like, "That's it, dude. That's it." And I was like, dude, that was me just going crazy.
I think the other reason why the drums stand out to me is because it sounds like a drummer actually playing. Because there's so much modern metalcore and metal in general where the drums get either triggers or just replaced with MIDI or whatever. And at a certain point, just that very clicky, repetitive kick and all that can sound...
Like it's so old.
Exactly. It makes a lot of bands that would otherwise sound very unique sound very similar to each other in a way.
Yep, I agree.
Everybody just uses fucking Modern and Massive or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the sound of an actual drum kit, even if it's maybe not as punchy as like, you know, the triggered stuff or whatever. It always sounds more unique, and I think it gives a band a little bit of extra, just something to stand out.
Oh yeah, well, Tony and I have always had that same exact feeling of you need to have a natural sound, because the natural sound is what sets you apart from what everyone else is doing. Yeah. And when we recorded that, it was so wild. We actually, so this is before Tony even lived in Nashville, but he came to Nashville and we actually rented out a really, really nice studio that had like Grammy awards all over it.
Nice.
And it actually had a real drum room. And I have pictures of us actually doing all that. Oh, this is so funny. You can see my dog coming up behind me right now. Hi, Koki. She's been sleeping the whole time. But it was so funny because he was like, dude, I really want this to be you on the drums, because we had done other stuff before where we triggered it and stuff. Like our last Set to Reflect album was all triggered and it sounded horrible. And then, but the EP we had done before it, I actually got to do real drums on and it sounded so great. And he was like, I want that old sound again. And I was like, me too. Let's do the old sound then. And it just felt so much better. Yeah. Gosh, it felt so much better, Rod.
I also want to point out in this song, are there two vocalists, or does one vocalist do the clean and the harsh vocals?
That's all Tony.
Dude's got range, man.
Dude, he is the best vocalist I've ever met in my entire life, I've ever played with. If you actually listen to that album, there's parts where he sings where you're like I don't know if you remember like Chiodos and Circa Survive, or those kind of bands,
the very MySpace metalcore kind of.
Yeah, dude, Tony had he had one of those voices. Like he could reach these notes where I was like, that's why a lot of times on like the really high harmonies on my album, I was like, Tony, hit it. And he would literally, while sitting in his chair, I mean, he'd be spinning in his chair and I was like, what are you? It's like, what are you doing? How did you do this so effortlessly? But he just has that voice. So funny?
Some people just have it.
Oh, he does. He's the one that taught me how to sing. I had never sang before Mollify or
really? I am so
surprised
surprised by that, actually.
Homie, I had no confidence whatsoever. So I literally was just like, Tony, I need you to teach me to sing. And he was just like, I got you, bro.
Vocal tracking is easily my least favorite part of making music, or making my own music, when I have to track vocals. I love working with other vocalists and like coaching them through tracking and stuff like that. But it's like, I just don't feel like I have the control yet. Like I can get close, but like it's one of those things where, especially with not having a producer to coach you through it, because I do all of this myself, that makes it really hard, because I think that one of the biggest things to having really good vocal takes is having a good producer there to coach you through it, because 100%. So much of it is just in your mind. It's not even a physical issue. It's the fact that you're thinking about it too much. When you sang it and you weren't recording, it sounded great. But now as soon as the click is on and you hear the backing track, you can't do it the exact same way. And it's these producers who get you out of your own head that really lead to those great vocal takes.
And that's exactly what Tony is. Tony will literally pull up a stupid as hell YouTube video that's like 2 minutes long and be like, dude, let's watch this real quick. And we'll watch it after I've had a horrible take, and we'll watch it and we'll be like laughing and everything. And he'll be like, now go. And hit record. And literally, I'm just like, okay. And he catches me so off guard that I'm not thinking about the take. And literally the line that I kept messing up or anything just comes out so naturally. Plus, Tony does something with me that's so funny. A lot of times, if I'm struggling to pronounce something the way that I want to pronounce it, like, you know, when you're reaching for higher notes and you're reaching for E's and you're reaching for I's and stuff like that, you know, every vowel feels so different when you're going up into your range. So he'll literally be like, all right, dude, so what we're going to do on this part is you and I are literally going to sing this together, and I'm going to just hit record, and it's just going to keep on going. And we're just going to keep singing it together until you feel comfortable singing this. And then we'll be able to hit the part. And I'm just like, okay, dude. It's like the small things he taught me about teaching over the pencil. And it's so nice because what we'll do is we'll record 6 times through the song and then literally take the best takes from those 6 takes, or the best pieces from those 6 takes, put it together to make the track. And it's so nice knowing that I don't have to be perfect all 6 takes, because, you know, if you fuck something up, okay, then he's just going to pull it from this take anyways. It doesn't even matter.
I think that that's one of the things that I like too is, at least with my workflow and what I do with other people that I record and produce, is doing as much of a full take as you can. Because there's a lot of people who will punch in parts and stuff like that. But I think that can kind of lead to things sounding a little bit choppy and unnatural. Whereas if you do the full takes, or even if you just sing like the couple of bars leading up to the thing that you're punching into, that's my secret weapon is that I'll sing like the line before the line that I keep messing up, so that I'm still going into it, but I've got like more like lung capacity left.
Exactly. That's honestly the way to do it. If we go back and we have parts that Tony's unhappy with, we do that same exact thing. He'll always say sing into it, and he'll lead me in with the line before, and I'll sing the line before, and then I'll go into that part.
I think that it really is one of those things where a producer, even if they're not like writing as much or anything, just having somebody to kind of be there through the process is such a big thing. Like, it's kind of funny. There was the thing going around for a while where people were trying to call Rick Rubin a hack because he said that he didn't know how to like operate like a mixing console or something like that. It's like, dude just knows how to make the vibe, man. That's the job. You know?
Exactly.
It's so funny to me.
People love to hate on anything, right? You know how they are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This has been a blast, man. This has been so much fun.
It has, dude. Yeah, this was a really good one, and I'm glad we got to like be really weird with our songs. Like, it was so nice just being able to be like, okay, I'm going to change my song to this.
Yeah, I love when people do that, because I always try and choose something that's like relatively eclectic, and I love when people will change what they were going to play because they're like, oh, you played something that's like totally different. I've actually got something that I really like that's up. You know, it's so much fun to me.
It really is, dude. I love matching the vibe. It just makes it so much better. But this was a blast. Thanks for having me, dude.
Absolutely, man. Everybody make sure to check out Mollify. It is out now. Stream the hell out of it. This has been the Fresh Finds Podcast, the show about listening to new music with good people.